the Empowered Aussies and Friends Google Hangout. If my awesome panel would like to introduce themselves from Tien at the end, and we'll work our way back.
Thank you, Jem. And my name is Tian Lee. I am from Melbourne, Australia. I have been online for the last almost a year, coming up to a year now. And beforehand, I was actually in a corporate job for about 7 or so years. Yeah, and realised while I was actually working for somebody else, I realised that I wanted more from my life, and I wanted to be my own boss, and I wanted to take charge of my own finances, my own time, and do the things that I want to do. You know, spend more time with my family, travel the world, and you know, go shopping in the middle of the day, or go take a walk in the middle of the day instead of being stuck behind a desk. So that's what's brought me online. Yeah, really enjoying the journey, learning lots and lots, and meeting a lot of amazing people who lift me up, which I think is one of the reasons, or one of the secrets behind success, is to surround yourself with like-minded people who are going in the same direction as you. With that, Jem, I'm going to hand the mic back to you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. That was lovely. And the lovely Tam. What's your story, Tam?
Hey, Jem, how you doing? Hey, everybody that is watching right now. Well, my name is Tam Dang. I am looking to become the world's wealthiest monk. I've got a brand that I'm gonna, you know, brand around myself. It's gonna be the $1 million monk, right? And it might sound funny right now, right? And it might stick, it might not, but you know, I got a story why, you know, the monk is such a strong word in my life, and actually started a long time ago. I mean, growing up, we grow up in a Buddhist background, right? My mom, my whole family, basically, they're very spiritual, right? They my mom and my sister especially, they've always been vegetarian eaters, right? And growing up, they've been the biggest influence in my life. I remember growing up, you know, being a terrible kid, you know, a terrible person in society. As I got older, I did things that, you know, was basically was more for my self-interest. You know, I was one of those that would instead of choose to study, instead of choosing you know, luxury cars, success, and making $100,000, I would be the type of person that would choose, you know, parties, beers, girls clubbing, and dancing, and, you know, the nightlife and stuff like that. So and I brought terrible pain to my family. If we have time, I might go into that. And you know, but what made me turn around is my mom's commitment to, you know, to her faith. And she constantly, you know, listened to these audios from these monks, right? And she constantly preached me as I'm growing up. And, you know, as a kid growing up, you listen to your parents, or your surrounding less than you do observe, you know, the physical action that they take or they do, right? And so I think by watching mom, watching my sisters, watching, you know, the people around me as I grow up, like, and especially again my mom and my sister, their action tells me that, you know, that they are actually really good people. And you know, somewhere inside of me, even though I've chosen the path I went, right, because I was at a certain age where I wanted to explore, I knew that I wasn't going to be, you know, someone who's going to be down here. I knew that I was above all that. You know, I wasn't going to, I knew that even though I was using at one stage, I knew I wasn't going to be like one of those users, you know, that that was quite that was like, you know, I don't know if you know what I mean. Like they just that's all it's about, and their life is completely, you know, sort of gone. I knew that I had a higher purpose, and I knew that at that point I'm just having fun, right? But I knew I was going to get out, and I knew that I was going to do something big in my life. it's funny because this theme of the monk keep coming back throughout my life. And recently, when I went to Miami to meet a mentor of mine, David Wood, he actually walked us through a certain assignment that he made us do. And I did it for it took me 5 hours to actually go through this, and I took it to heart, and I really nailed it, and I really wanted to find out exactly what my intentions were. I really wanted to be clear. And what happened was, it took me 5 hours. I did it until 3 a.m. And one of the exercise that I did, it actually drilled down so deep inside of me, beyond my conscious mind, beyond my unconscious mind, to the point where I was so exhausted, and it gave me a little push. And guess what that final word was? It was monk. All right, and I don't know how to sort of explain that, but I guess I'm on a journey to find out. And yeah, it's a funny thing to share on this Hangout right now. But that's a little bit about me, how it's going to relate and connect to internet marketing, everything that we're doing, and just hang in there and find out. In a bit.
Hey,
Back
Tam,
to you, Jem.
sorry, can I just put interject something? Have you read the book called The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari?
No.
It's a good book. It's a fable, but it's got some really interesting concepts in it. I think you'll like it.
Right.
Did a monk really have a Ferrari?
Well, he wasn't a monk beforehand. He became a monk. Yeah.
That's just fascinated me, Tam. That's completely fascinated me. I had no idea. I'm interested to see your journey from here, personally. And now, Harish, top that.
That's going to be pretty difficult. It was really inspiring, the story. I'll try, but I'm not sure if I can. But my name is Harish Patel. I'm here from the UK. I'm not aspiring to be a monk, but I think it's an inspiring story which Tam shared with us. With myself, before I got involved with internet marketing just about a year ago, last year. And before that, I used to work in an IT, within a bank within the IT sector. And, I was in a situation where I thought, I can't complain. I was working really long hours, but I was looking around and no one else was complaining. So I thought, well, I shouldn't be complaining either. But then when I worked out my hourly rate, it was pretty pathetic. The hours I was working was crazy. But people were saying, Harris, you shouldn't complain. You're in a good company, you're a good job, you got the security. I had the security. Well, I thought I had the security at the time, but I just wasn't fulfilled. I thought there was much more to it. I just didn't have much of a life outside of work. And then it was unfortunate at that time, but it turned out to be a good thing. I lost my job last year. And I thought, excellent, I could take some time off. Eventually, it was such a long, week as well as working weekends. I thought, fine, I could just chill out, relax, and take it easy. And unfortunately, it took a bit. My easy time took longer than I thought, and I realized I couldn't get another job. It was getting very, very difficult. And this is when I stumbled upon internet marketing. Now, the thing is, what I've noticed is, with anything, the mindset is so important. And what I realized is, initially I thought, oh yeah, this would be easy. I'll just put a couple of blog posts and I get results straight away. Because when you have a normal work environment, you usually get the results pretty straight away. You do something and you get the results. But I think when you're working for yourself or when you're in internet marketing, you may not get the results straight away, but you keep at it, you go persistent and you continue with it until you get the results. And that's something which I learned, which initially I didn't know. But, what I'm glad about the change I've done is, where I was before, I used to work ridiculous hours. Really crazy hours, and I thought there was no other alternative for myself. But now this has opened up a new opportunity for myself, made me realize there is another way. I've met recently some of my old work colleagues, and they just can't understand what I'm doing. Because to them, they think, well, you should work for an employer, that's how it should be. They just haven't got that mentality. And what I've noticed is you can't persuade people. If they haven't got that way of thinking, they haven't. All you can be is open to them, and if they want to know more about it, you can give information, but you're not there to convince people. be available for them if they want more information. But I'm really happy, and never know, they may come to me eventually and ask me more questions. But what I think is most important is that there is another way of working as opposed to working the long hours I used to work. That's my story, I guess.
We're all so different, aren't we? There's just, and I think that's the beauty of Empower Network. Like, we've just all come from, sorry, that noise, if you can hear it, is my dog. He's just playing on my office floor. Unbelievable. It's like a farm at this place. Yeah, everybody from all different types of walks of life and different backgrounds. I mean, I'm an accountant by profession. I've had my own business for far too many years, and I'm a little bit different to most people who, when they go into internet marketing or anything, they're looking for that 6-figure income or that 7-figure income. Well, recently I made a huge decision that I didn't want to do that anymore, and I've actually walked away from a 6-figure income to do Empower Network full time. So that's because I just figured there's just so much more to life, like everybody's been saying, than well, I mean, money is important, don't get me wrong, but even in my own business, I was still, I work probably more than what anybody else at a job would, because you've just at beck and call of your clients all the time, and although I'd work from home, I'd never see my kids because I was in my office all the time. And whereas now I have that flexibility to hang out with my girls during the day, we do whatever we want, and I work around all of that, and that's what I love about it. It's just, yeah. But let's talk about the topic at hand, like the mindset, how it can actually improve, and changing your mindset is what actually will take you from here to here. It's like, once you get the space up here intact, that's when everything starts to shift and everything starts to change. I mean, it's all great coming in going, I want to make money, and everybody wants to make money. But I don't know about you guys, but what I found is that there's so much more to this than just making the money. In fact, may sound hard to believe coming from an accountant, but the money really isn't important anymore. It's gone far beyond that. It's gone to I know the personal change that I've had within me. I mean, I've always been a huge workaholic, huge stress head. Now I've just got this incredible monk-like inner calm, just this permanent inner peace going on where absolutely nothing phases me now. It's like, it's all good, it's fine. My kids do all the worrying for me now, so that's all cool. But it's just, what about you guys? How are you? Have you sort of felt that same? Not yet, or hit me with it.
What, the calmness do you mean? What were you asking, Jeff?
Yeah, just that, that your mindset changing from, like, your corporate background, Tien, and
Yeah.
that sort of, I've got to do this and I've got to do this and it has to be done here and it has to be done now and all these deadlines are set and you've got to do this and you've got to, it's just not like that anymore. It's a whole different game,
Yeah, definitely. I agree, and I think it has a lot to do with being your own boss and learning how to manage yourself and your mindset. And I truly believe that success starts on the inside. If you're having negative thoughts all the time about how things are going wrong and how nothing works for you, that's the result you're going to get. But if you're thinking to yourself, you've got an end goal and you say, I'm going to get to that goal no matter what, you're going to do whatever it takes. And for me, it's so different being in a corporate, like Harish said. When you're working for a job, you do things and you sort of get results immediately. Whereas being an entrepreneur, you have to keep working at it. And even though you don't see results, you have to keep going because you'll eventually get there because you believe in what you're doing and you believe in yourself.
I was just going to say, I don't know about you guys, but do you find it just on that what you were saying about not seeing results immediately? What I find is you get so many people saying, well, why aren't you making any money yet? Where's all that? You've left that. How come you've walked away from that? And you're like, what are you doing? And it's like, okay. But I used to get really, I don't know, defensive about it all. Whereas now, I mean, I don't. I work ridiculous hours. Well, could we actually call this work, really?
I ask myself that sometimes too. It's like I just love what I'm doing. Like, is this really work? Really?
Exactly. Like the other morning, it was 6:30 in the morning, and I went, oh, shit, I better go and get some sleep at 6:30. Who does that? But I do it. I think it was 4:30 yesterday morning, or this morning, or whatever you want to call it. But you know, we've just got that. I don't know, just that flexibility and that. I don't know. I love the webinars. I love the inner circle. I love learning. I'm learning so much with all of this, and that in itself changes your mindset too, because it's reinforcing your own internal belief that, yeah, I can do this. Yeah, this is great. And then once you sort of your mind shift started changes, then people sort of pick up on your whole attitude change, and that's when people start attracting to you, because people buy people. People don't generally buy products. Although these products are awesome, don't get me wrong. Yeah, just when you change your entire mindset, your entire business can go on an absolute exponential level. It can go off the charts. And I mean, we've seen that, absolutely seen that with everybody around us. Thoughts?
Jem, I completely agree with what you were saying before. I mean, initially I was thinking about the money, but then then you get affected by what other people are saying to you, and that's what was happening for me. I think I've got to get this result, and then you realize, well, why am I doing this? I mean, what's the real reason why I'm doing this? And what's the purpose behind it? I mean, the difference you can make around the people that you're around, and giving opportunities for people that are looking for that opportunity to find a new route. And then really breaking it down for day-to-day tasks. So, I have a to-do list for the next day. And then I'm actually wake up and excited to do that, because it's not like, oh, damn it, I've got to do this whatever work, which I hate doing. And that's why it doesn't feel like work anymore, because I want to get up. I lose track of time sometimes. And that's something which I need to work on, because sometimes you got to be strict to yourself and say, look, I'm going to get this done within 30 minutes or an hour, and if I can't, I need to leave and move on to the next thing. And that's something which I do fall into sometimes, but I really enjoy it, which is really, really good. I'm not looking at my clock every half an hour wondering, is it time to clock out? Because there's no such thing as clocking out in this game. That's how I look at it. But it's the difference you can give to other people. I mean, that's the thing that drives me, and that's why I really, really enjoy it. And that's why I don't think of it as work. Maybe it's me, but I've always thought work is just doing something you hate doing, but you love one day of the month, which is payday. I mean, that's what it used to be for me. Then I worry about it for another 30 days, but that was how my life was before. So, but things are a little bit more different now. I'm so glad about that.
And what I love is there's so many of us that we think the same way. So it's, yeah, it just changes your perspective on everything, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah, time. But I do set myself, I'm gonna write my blog in this period of time, and I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do that, I'm gonna do something else. And once all that's done, I'm going to do a bit of training and watch this. Well, I mean, that runs into 3 hours, and I'll just apply that now that I've learnt that, and that's another hour. I'll just have another go at that, and yeah, 6:30 in the morning. Hello. but I mean, you're doing fun. Exactly, but you're doing all these income-producing activities, and then you're getting results, and you're like, oh my God, I just got to do some more, and I don't want to go to sleep, and I really need to do this, and because I don't have clocks in the office, I've only got the one on the computer, which I rarely look at, and then I think, oh, really? Oh, and my kids just said to me, like, make sure you go to bed early, Mum. Like, we've got to get up. I've got to get up early in the morning, like 6 in the morning, and I'm thinking, maybe I just won't go to bed. yeah, that's cool. I'll just stay up, keep working, go to sleep when I come back. Like, it's all good. I can do that. I have the flexibility to work all night and all a few hours. Like, how good's that?
That's cool. One thing I actually learned recently from Mark Kuferson, and he's a pretty big marketer, is there's actually a formula. Most people, they actually have time freedom. They actually have a lot of time, but they lack the money. And a lot of people have, you know, the money. They have a lot of money. They make a ton of money. They get CEOs, executive type income, but they don't have time. They don't have the time to spend with their kids. They don't have the time to go on their, you know, wonderful yacht that they bought. They don't have time to go play golf. And one thing, you know, for us internet marketers, if you want to be successful, is, you know, you got to speak to the right person, because one person might be looking for more time, another person might be looking for more money. But the coolest thing is this: if your message is, and if you can combine these two and deliver that in your marketing, that's what attracts a lot of people. And I guess that's what we're looking for. We're all looking for, you know, more time and more money, freedom. Once we're able to do that, then you know, we're able to then we become more free to. So a lot of people, right? We all have hobbies. We all have things that we love, enjoy doing. The problem is we're all chasing the paychecks, and so we have to give up our hobbies, give up our you know, our interests, give up the books that we read, give up a lot of things. And so once we find, you know, time freedom and money freedom, both of this, right? Not one, but both of them. Slowly, we're going to be able to, you know, sit around. And this is not my words. This is, I'm relaying something that I've heard from a great, brilliant marketer. And so once we've got this, you know, this two combination locked, what happened is then now one day we're just going to sit around and we're going to be like, okay, so what am I going to do now? And then we're going to pick up that, you know, golf club, and then we're going to pick up that book that we've left, and we're going to pick up that hobby again. So what happened is, with time freedom and with money freedom, you're able to go back, you know, to enjoying the things that you love. And you know, to be able to achieve all of this, though, guys, and it goes back to the topic at hand: how to create, you know, the right mindset. And if you can create the right mindset, success will come. And I mean, there's so many aspects, right? I mean, what is the right mindset? You can ask that question, and it's so hard to answer because there's just so much to develop, right? I mean, one good book I would recommend would be, you know, Think and Grow Rich. Read that one, and you would have, you know, a big percentage of, you know, the right mindset, you know, configured. You know, if you follow exactly what the book says, then you're like, I don't know how big of the percentage is. It might be all you need, right? But there obviously is a lot more. And yeah, so that's one of the ways. And if you can create the right mindset. One of the things that I was in the shower earlier, right? I was telling everyone I was cutting my own hair and stuff like that. And then, you know, Tin started the Hangout. She messaged me, and I was in a rush, and there's still like hair all over the bathroom there. I'll go back and clean that afterwards. But you know, one of the things that I was thinking about in there while I was in the shower, and instead of singing in the shower these days, I actually talk, right? I actually speak like this, like I was on the inner circle, or, you know, like I'm on a live Hangout. And it's what I do. I practice. I speak vocally, and I tap into my conscious, and I just let it flow. One of the things that I said in there that was really cool is like, if you want to change the world, right, you can. And to change the world, you have to change yourself, change the inner you, right? Because each one of us live in a different world, right? You have two guys that are, living in the same house. They could be twins, right? They could be getting the same education. They could be driving the same car. They could be, everything could be exactly the same. But one life could be, surrounded by luxury, surrounded by positivity. Another life could be surrounded by drugs, alcohol, and just crappy, moody people, right? Why? It all comes back to their mindset, their inner program, how they've developed and programmed their inner self, right? And so if you really want to change the world, and if you really want success, right, start tapping in, stop looking out there, right? Because a lot of people look for the Ferrari, the big house, and all that kind of stuff, right? Start looking inside. Because once you can change your inner self, right, all that will come. You will attract all those, success, and you will essentially change the world around you because you've developed yourself. And for those of you guys that don't know how to develop yourself, there are several ways. Read books, listen to audio tapes. The best instructions I've ever got, the best guideline for growth is the 8 core commitments inside of Empower Network. If you wanna know what the 8 core commitment is, and you might wanna tap into that and follow the exact training that we get, hit the link below and get inside and follow the 8 core commitment and grow, from the inside out and gain success that way. And that's my 2 cents on this topic.
No, I'm loving it. I'm loving it. More? Have we got more from anybody else?
Yeah, just as Tam was talking about that, I was just, something this thought just popped into my head. The reason why you have to start with the mind before you can become successful is like attracts like. The vibrations that you put out into the universe are the vibrations that you'll get back. And for me, I remember, probably about 10, 15 years ago when I used to be so negative. Like I look at one of my sisters now and I look at her and I think that's how I used to be. I was so negative and I just kept focusing on all the things that were wrong in my life and not having gratitude and not appreciating and not loving. Whereas now I'm in a different mind space. I'm in a different headspace where I've focused on myself and I've done a lot of personal development seminars and I've connected with a lot of positive people who have helped to lift me up and help me get out of that negative mindset. And because of that, I just find like every night before I go to bed, I keep a gratitude journal where I write 5 things that I'm grateful for the day. And even like throughout the day, I think about this as well. And I've noticed like when I wake up now, I'm like happy. I'm happy. I'm instead of thinking about all the things that I don't have, I'm focusing on all the wonderful things in my life, all the great things in my life, and it's just attracted like more and more. I've noticed like it's attracted more positive people to me, more successful people to me, because I've changed it inside. The world is still the same. It's just like my perspective has changed. So I'm getting different results from when back then to now.
And I think that's actually like the secret that everybody talks about. I mean, there's so many bloody secrets around, but yeah, it's that inner change. It's that getting rid of that monkey chatter and negative people in particular that sort of tend to swamp around us. But I too, and my girls, we practice gratitude, and the more you do it, it becomes a habit. But if more people realised how much they actually have to be grateful for, as opposed to bitching, whining, because they don't have, the world would be such a better place. Like people tend to take so many things for granted, and they're so quick. I don't know whether it's just a human nature or what it is, but I mean, this latest, I don't watch television, I don't watch the news, I don't read newspapers, and I don't listen to the radio. So people call me ignorant. I call it a life choice.
Yep.
So if something's really important, we'll find out about it on Facebook. That's the way I see it. I mean, Sarah told me the other night about, what is it, Julia Gillard and Rudd. Like, I had no idea what was going on. She said, oh, Facebook, all these pictures. I went, oh, okay, nice, nice. I mean, people, and all those negative comments that jump up on Facebook, and it's like, let's focus on the positive, shall we? Like, we're not a nation where, you know, where there's violence, well, there's violence, but not like some countries. Like, you know, it's just a couple of people that, I don't know, bitch fest is what I'm calling it. But at the end of the day, is it actually directly affecting my life? Like, no, because I didn't even know it was going on. So I'm not understanding why people get so worked up about, you know, things that are happening around them that really, truly don't have any direct effect on them whatsoever. I mean, the only things I worry about are my kids, like, and my parents, my immediate family. Anything else, I just don't care about. I mean, it's not that I don't care. It's just, I prefer to be grateful for the things I've got. And it comes down to little things like the pillow you sleep on, you know, the bed that you're on, the roof over your head, that you're not sleeping on the street, that you're nice and warm when it's winter, and you've got a fan in summer. And, you know, people just forget these tiny little things. It's like, oh, I don't have $1 million in the bank, and I'm not driving a Ferrari. Well, have you got food on the table? Have you got 2 feet? Can you walk where you need to go? You know? Yeah. Am I taking that too far?
No.
I go off on my tangent.
It actually reminds me of something that happened to me when I was working in catering, you know, way back when I was in my early 20s, so quite a few years ago now. Actually, my last day on the job, funnily enough, I was slicing, I remember I was slicing tomatoes on the slicer, you know, the one you see at the deli where you slice ham. So I was cutting away on that, and I actually trimmed the top of my thumb off. And it was,
I was waiting for it. I was waiting for something.
It was painful, but all I can say is thank God for the morphine, because that saved me. But yeah, after it wore off, my God, I was in such agony. But like after that experience, and after, you know, my thumb healed and whatever, I mean, it's never been the same since. But ever since I had that experience where I actually cut the top of my thumb off, I just, like, almost every day, like, I just look at my fingers and I'm like, I'm so grateful to have all my fingers. Just from that.
Show me your thumb now. Show me your thumb. I need to see.
Oh, you won't be able to see much. It's like right under my nail here. You probably can't see it, but I'll show you when I see you in Denver.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's still like very sensitive now. But yeah, I'm just grateful that I still got all 10 fingers.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, it's yeah. Sorry, boys. Somebody? Pam, was it you?
What? Yeah. Oh, Harish, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, gratitude is so important, I think. Myself, and I have a gratitude journal, and what happens at the end of the day, you sometimes have a busy day, and you forget about the things you should be grateful for. And then when I write down, I think, oh, hang on, today's actually been pretty good. You know, I actually got everything done. I was told this. I caught up with someone, and all these things you seem to forget because there's so many things that want to get your attention. And you know, you got to have focus, in my opinion, focus on the things which will get you to where you want. Because there's so many other distractions that won't get you there, and just sort of derail you to a different route. And there's no need. And what I've noticed in myself is when you know where you're heading to, making those decisions are much more easier because you know that won't get you to where you want. So just ignore it. Just don't deal with it. I think when we focus, because I think when we are unsure of where we want to go, then that's it. I remember early on in my life when I wasn't focused, then anything that comes up, oh, maybe I should do that, or maybe I should do that, and then you just get completely lost because you don't know. You know, you kind of you're not taking responsibility. You're basically giving responsibility to someone else to make the decisions for you, and you're just waiting for things to come up, and you just take it. Well, once you know what you meant to focus on, you're taking responsibility. That's how I look at it. So when things don't go your way, you can't blame anyone, and you don't blame yourself. You just take responsibility for it, and you respond to what happens. So that's how I see it. But obviously, I make mistakes. I'm sure everyone does, but you gradually get better with time. And I think that's the key, the focus of knowing where you're going to.
yeah, I was just gonna as Jem and Tin was sharing about being grateful before, one of the things that popped up into my mind, and it's, I don't know how to sort of how this sort of relates, but it sort of demonstrates, the point. But you know, we're strawberry growers, right? So we've got a paddock of strawberry farm, of strawberries outside, and a couple of years ago, we had these backpackers who have never picked strawberries before ever in their life. First time they've ever done strawberries is in our field, and I get this task of training them every year. And I remember a couple of years ago, we wanted to do some pruning, right? And so we handed them a knife, and the bush was like really big. It was really bushy. And here I go, teaching them how to prune and stuff like that, all perfectly fine, right? And there's about there's two groups. There's 50 in this group, 50 in that group, and they got their own blocks to work on. And so after training them, and we have the contractors there with each contractor have like a couple of supervisors each. So they go off and sort of showed everybody how to do it, and then everybody goes off to grab a row and prune a row each. And what happened was, for the first half hour, you would hang around and check them and to see that, make sure they're doing right. Okay, and that was what happened, and everything was good. So what happened was, I left, right, and to the afternoon, I came back, expecting everything to be nicely done, and then it was like they really took the time to really do it slowly and to prune. But what happened was, a lot of the actually, sorry guys, we didn't give them knives. We were afraid that they might cut the fruits, so we said use your hands, guys. So we sent them in there with their hands. They're sitting on trolleys, and they're kicking back like this, and they're working on the plant, and they're just pruning them, right? And when I came back, it looks really nice from far back, but when you got into the field and into the rows, I saw like so many plants lying on the ground. So many fruits lying on the ground, green fruits, right? And it was like a huge horror. People were like having so much trouble breaking these, these leaves and these runners. They were just ripping them apart. And because they were getting paid per row, they were just going as fast as they can, just breaking them, right? And the reason I'm telling you this is because now, just today, really, like we're pruning again, and I'm walking out there with Mum, and we're looking around. These guys are pruning, and they're doing a really good job. And we picked up some green fruit on the ground, and just here and there in the whole field, there's a couple of bushes on the ground. And we saw this, and because we've already seen what happened 2 years ago, right? We nearly lost like 50% of the field because of the guys were just pulling these plants out like crazy. And here we've got only a couple of fruits on the ground, a couple of plants on the ground. So we looked at each other, we were like, oh, that's pretty cool. It's not like half the field. So my point of this story is with gratitude, unless you've experienced something horrific in your life, right, you're not going to appreciate what you have. Like a lot of people grow up in Australia, you grow up in the suburban area. It's a good life. Some people make more, some people make less, but nobody's actually struggling, right? You have everything at your hand's reach. For you to really experience, if you want to really have more gratitude in your life, and to live more in a grade of gratitude, travel to, I recommend Asia or Africa, or go to those places and really stay not the tourist area, but really go off that. I know, and I haven't been there, but I heard like in Las Vegas, right? The Strip is bright and it's beautiful, but outside of the Strip, how many people sort of live in the street? Bums, people who just have no home. They just can't. They have no food, and so you know, once you have seen the horror, then you get to appreciate what you have. A roof over your head, the pillow, like Jem talked about, the finger that Tin's got, because there are people, guys, that are born, you know, with you know, missing bits of their body, either missing or just deformed, right? And you know, you gotta look at yourself. Like each one of us here, we're blessed. We got everything. Like, I mean, Jem, you look beautiful, right? You're in black and white, you know. But I mean, you guys gotta start. You know, you guys gotta start. You know, stop looking up, right? My uncle, one of my uncles said it perfectly. He said he came over here from Vietnam, and he came and worked with us for a couple of months, right? Made a ton of money, and he looked at us and he's like, "You guys are doing very well." And I looked at him and I'm like, "Nah, you don't know where we want to go, right? Because I'm looking very far up ahead." But he's like, "Son, you need to sometimes look up, okay? But you also need to look down and then look at yourself. So look up, look down, and look at yourself, because there are always going to be people that are much better than you financially, spiritually, intellectually, right? And there's always people below you that are you know, that have less than you, right? So be grateful for where you're at right now, and yeah, and having that in your mindset is also gonna, like Jem was talking about before, why do we have this peace? All right, that might be your answer, Jem, like because you live in a state of gratitude.
Yeah, makes sense. And like Tien, I mean, I've noticed when because I must admit, I go off. I mean, as everybody does, you go off the rails sometimes, and you forget your gratitude and I don't know, weeks and weeks now, and I haven't missed. In fact, my journal is almost full, and so many positive things are you know, just bumper to bumper to bumper next to each other. It's like, it's just fantastic. And instead of focusing on the lack, actually Tracy Walker, one of the Empower Network calls a few weeks ago, she was saying, if you focus on what you don't have, you can't appreciate or build what you do have. And the minute you focus on the things that you do have, the lack will just won't exist anymore. It will become an abundance without you even realizing it's happening. And I've found that that's sort of what's happened to us as well. Like, instead of focusing, I mean, as I said, I've gone from like 6-figure income, and I've just like, I'm relying on internet marketing now, and trust me, it is a huge change. But instead of focusing on, you know, the lack of abundance that we did have, it's like, yeah, but look at what I've got now. Like, this is great, and I'm walking to the tune of my own drum, and I'm doing what I want to do, and you know, I'm so incredibly focused, and I know what I want, and I know my why, and it's just all so crystal clear. But all these positive, awesome things that are happening around me as well. I mean, this Hangout, for instance, this is an awesome experience to be on this, you know, with the fellow Aussies, and an Aussie ring in there, I see. But you know, it's just an amazing experience. I mean, we would never have met each other on any other circumstance, and you know, we could get on a Hangout with absolutely anybody, and it'd just be the same. It'd be like, you know, we're old mates. And then when we hook up at an event like Denver or wherever the next one will be after that, you know, it's like we are just an extended. That is huge to me as well. Like, it's not a, I don't know, it's not a fake, superficial friendships that are going on and we just look good for the camera type of thing. It's real. It's you know, it's all. That's how I feel anyway, and I'm sure you guys too. You feel it too, yeah?
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Jem, about the superficial thing. I remember my jobs before, you had to kind of work with me because you had to. There was a difference there, and you had this one. I'm actually, I'll be honest. What used to happen to me was I had a certain act at work and another act when I was out of work, and that wasn't good. That wasn't good. I've got to act all professionally because I'm in the work environment. Then I can say and speak about them afterwards, and that was wrong. That was so wrong. Now there is no difference at all. There is no I've got to put on an act or I've got to act in a certain way. It's be yourself, and that makes a huge difference.
That's it. And with the leaders in Empower Network too, I mean, environment, I mean, trying to get next to a CEO or a president of a company, or, I mean, you've got to be somebody really special to get, like, well, you just don't get time with them. Yet, I mean, you can go up to, any of these guys, and I don't know, well, maybe you boys aren't, but I'm a hugger. So I'll just hug any of them, and it's just, yeah, cool. There's none of this, this red tape crap or this seniority or this, I can't think of the word I'm looking for. But anyway, it's like we're all just a huge family, and nobody is any better than anybody else. People have been doing it longer. People are, maybe more focused than others. But at the end of the day, everybody is exactly the same, and we all have exactly the same 24 hours in the day. It's just some people choose to spend that time other ways. I don't choose to sit in front of the TV and watch it. I prefer to be, doing learning or reading. I do a hell of a lot of reading. I've been saying it's another way to change your mindset, depending on what you're actually reading. It's just, I'll be quiet. Anybody else? I'm so passionate. Can you tell? My passion just oozes when I start talking about this. And trust me, I have a passion for accounting as well. I would probably I'm the least likely person to be an accountant because apparently I have too much personality. But I never thought I would have such a passion for internet marketing, for goodness sakes. But it's so much more than that. I don't know, like, unless you're in it and unless you're a part of this particular community, you just don't get it. Am I wrong?
No, you're right. I think it was Chris Record that said today that, Empower Network is a personal development platform,
Yes.
that you earn money from.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's so true.
Exactly what he said. Justin Ferenger has said a very similar thing too. It's a personal development thing, and Tony Rush said it's a leadership factory, and it's I mean, yeah, everybody's in it for the money, and the money's awesome, but it just goes far beyond that, and the potential that we all have. I mean, we can actually see our potential, because I don't know about you guys, but I've been watching these leaders sort of, the way they're just expanding and they're just growing, and it's like, wow, I can do that too. There's no reason. I mean, in all honesty, I would never have seen me sitting on a panel in a Google Hangout. Like, that's just not something I would ever have seen me do. And as for cutting videos, I get it. Now I'm a video addict. Sarah and I cut videos every day, like 2, 3. I think we did 4 videos yesterday and 3 today. Like, we're maniacs. Like, put us in front of a camera, we're good. We're going to have our own talk show, I think. No guests, because no one will get a word in edgewise. But yeah, like it's just brought, I don't know. I've always been a confident person, but it's just brought that something else out in me, myself. It's just, I don't know. I'm still blossoming. I'm still growing. And if you're not growing, you may as well be dead.
Yeah. I think what it is, Jim, it's stepping into your power.
That's it.
I've got a really funny concept that might be able to express what Jam's trying to share and what Tim has just said. I was speaking to a friend just a couple of actually last night, and she and I were in similar situations. She might be watching this hangout right now. Actually, I'm not going to state her name. She knows who she is. She's a very powerful lady. Actually, Tim knows her as well. We met at the Quantum Leap program. That's that's one of T Half's signature program, and you know, she actually works very well with a lot of CEOs. She actually coaches a lot of CEOs, right? Because you know, a lot of CEOs struggle in their business with time management, with scheduling, with PR, and all sorts of different aspects of the business. And she's their coach. So she works. You know, she can walk into a boardroom, she can sit down, and she can actually command the place. And you know, for me, being, you know, the owner of a farm, I walk out there and there's like, you know, there's like nearly 100 pickers out there, and you know, nearly like you know, 80 to 100 packers inside the shed. I walk around, my head held high, right? I'm like the man there. Somehow though, you know, my friend and I, we feel like there's more out there. Like, I feel like, you know, when I'm in that space, I am like the top guy, but it is in a confined space, if you guys know what I mean. And same with my friend. She is, you know, when she's in her business, when she's coaching the CEOs, she's in that confined space, and she's very brilliant at it. She's the leader. She commands. She controls, just like I do. When I go out to the paddock, I make plans, and everything's second nature to me now out there, right? I can see, you know, I don't know, like the Matrix. I could see many things happening while, you know, a new picker, he's struggling to just, you know, understand why this color we're picking, right? And so what I'm really trying to say is, her and I, what happened was, I jumped on a Hangout with last night. It was funny because she actually has seen our Hangouts, the ones we've been posting on Facebook. She watched it, and she's like, wow, that's what I want to do. She feel drawn towards, you know, this, what we're doing. She feel like this is a place where she can grow, where she can step into her power. And when I talked to her, she actually said, you know, that her guys like Joel Roberts, if you guys know Joel Roberts, he's you know, he's a very he's a world-class trainer, and he's got a product called Word Impact, or Impact Speaking, or something like that. And she's also been contacted by Blair Singer. He's Rich Dad's advisor, to work with him, and also Alex Mendosian as well. Contact her because they want to work with her as well. But the funny thing she said to me is, look, Tam, I'm drawn to you guys. I'm drawn to what you're doing. For some reason, I feel like that's the place I belong. And it's really funny that she says that. And then we got into talking more, and you know, we found out that we're quite similar. And the funny thing was, when she hopped on the Hangout with me, and it wasn't actually on air, she was like, wait, is it on air? Is it on air? You know, don't turn it on, you know. And she's ragged up, and she's like, this is what I'm like when I'm home, all ragged up. You know, I have this monk nature as well, just like you. And when I'm out there, I gotta put on makeup. I'm in a suit. I'm very powerful, and I'm like, really? You don't seem powerful just now. And so we got talking, right? And we found that, yeah, you know, in the confined space of the farm, I am, you know, I've grown to the height that I can be there, all right? And she has in her business. But what we're stepping into here, right? And it's not about internet marketing, guys. It's about personal growth. It's about growing you as a person. We're stepping into a game where we're competing against, you know, guys out there that are leading the world right now. We're stepping into this game of leading the world, right? So, you know, you could, I don't know how you know, for some people they might think, oh yeah, I'm like John Reese, I'm leading the world into salvation. Or, you know, you might be like me, you think you're the next monk that's going to change the world. I don't know. But this is exciting, and we know that there's no cap in what we're doing, right? There's a cap around the farm, right? There's no cap here. It's just we're just going to keep growing and keep growing and keep growing, and there's so many people that we can that are ahead of us that we can model and follow. And for those of you guys that are watching, I don't know what level you're at, right? You might be just starting out. You might be a top leader right now who's got a giant team underneath you inside of a network marketing company. I don't know what it is, but there is something here for you. Lock arms with us. Hit the link below. Get inside for the top leaders. We're going to give you great marketing training that you can give your team so they can duplicate. For those of you guys who are new to business and new to internet marketing, just stepping on this in the scene, the Power Network is the best place, hands down, to be. I didn't have the privilege of plugging into a Power Network 4 years ago, and I struggled, and I spent a lot of money buying different courses and programs and struggled. But here, you've got Empower Network. It's not a guarantee that you make money, as always, but there's a very high chance that you can do it in 90 days, which, like I have. So, yeah, that's really what I wanted to share. Does that sort of make sense, Tim and Jem, to what you guys are talking about?
Yeah, absolutely, it does. I hadn't actually seen it sort of that way. Like, I kind of knew, but I guess hearing it like that, yeah, I mean, I am definitely growing, continually growing, and exponentially. There, as you said, there is no cap, there is no ceiling here. Like, up is the only way to go, and we'll just keep growing and expanding our talents and expanding our personalities and just growing as a group, as a team, as a family, individually. I just think it's awesome. It's just, I love it. I absolutely love it. But what I actually forgot to say, I do apologise. If anybody has any questions for any of us on the panel, just if you put them in the comments, like, we are monitoring it to see if there are any comments there. If you're sort of sitting there going, oh, I want to know that, just whack it in down there, and one of us will see it and answer it for you. But I have noticed that it's just after 10 o'clock, so it's up to you guys. Do you want to keep going a little bit? Do you want to kill it? Do you want to see if there's any messages that have come through? I see no questions, if anybody else has.
No, there's no questions there, Jim.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, I think we've had personally, I've had an awesome time. What about you guys?
Definitely.
I'm feeling empowered. I'm feeling another 6 o'clock finish for me. AM. It's only 10. Wow. Think how much I can do in that time.
Yeah. Can I just say one thing, Jem?
Yeah.
Like most people who actually come into this industry and who come online, we all come here for the money. And I was guilty of that because, 2 years ago I resigned from my corporate job because I had had enough. And I said, I'm not doing this anymore. And I resigned. So I have not officially been working, for a year before I started, before I came online. And to me, I came here because I thought it's a better, smarter, quicker way to make money. And it is when you focus, when you know where you're going, when you surround yourself with the right people, when you follow the 8 core commitments, you'll get to where you want to go. This isn't a 3 to 5 year plan. This is a 90-day plan. And all you need to do is just stay focused and just keep going. And like us on the panel here, you'll discover that the reason you actually stay in here, it's not just for the money. It's for the amazing people you get to work with, and you get to communicate with, who you get to connect with, and the people you get to inspire, the people whose lives you change. This isn't about you. It's about a bigger picture. It's about the bigger picture. Yeah, lock arms with us and click the link below this video.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. Yeah. I had a thought and it just went on me then. You boys pick up. Well, I think.
Tian, you raised a very good point, being part of something bigger. And that's something which I didn't think about initially when I joined. I mean, I was like with most other people, thought about the money initially. But when I got involved, I then realized that there's a much bigger picture, a much bigger vision. when involved in Empower Network. And that is the key. Of course, you get the freedom of time and money, but it's being part of something bigger, making a difference, not only to yourself, but to other people that are looking for these kind of opportunities. And the feeling you get when you help someone else find a way of getting out of their current situation makes a huge difference, more than the money you make yourself. But that's how I see it. There's so much more to it than just the initial money. And that's why I think if I don't know what situation people are in, but if they're in a situation where they want to grow further and make a difference and make some money out of it, then this is a no-brainer. Click the link below and get involved, and you'd be surprised where it'll lead you. That's the key. Just you don't know until you try. And the thing is, you don't want to try. You want to get involved with both feet in. That's the best way.
And my favourite quote: "Nothing changes if nothing changes." You're the only one that can create a change in your life. So if something in your life sucks, you're the only one that can change it. You're the only one that can make that decision to make something happen that's real. And the thought I had when you were talking, Tien, is the sales that you make are actually a bonus, I think. Like, because I did come here for the money, obviously, but it has gone way beyond that, to the point now when, we make a sale, it's like, oh, wow, oh, how cool is that? Because I'm so focused on, I don't know, I guess personal development and growth, that it's just being the primary concern of what I'm doing day in and day out. Because once you stop focusing on the money and you focus on, inspiring other people or helping other people or showing other people that there is another way, you just lose all track of all that, and that then becomes your focus. I mean, I know that's what I have found anyway. I mean, I love inspiring people and I love helping people, and if just one person I can help, can know that they don't have to put up with the crap that they're being dealt with at work. And I'm not saying resign tomorrow, but why not, build this business up, spend an hour every night when you get home from work, and then you'll realise that, oh, this is really cool, I can do this. Because if it doesn't work, it's not because the system doesn't work, it's because you're not working, you don't want it bad enough. It's when you want something bad enough that you will do whatever it takes until. And that's it, until. There's that. That's just an open sentence. I'm wise tonight, aren't I? I just amaze myself sometimes. So have any of you guys got some closing statements, because it's 10:10? I'm happy to stay until 6, but I'm sure you guys don't.
Right. I'll just interject this thing very quickly. And this is really
I know
cool.
you took too long, too late. Sorry. No, I'm kidding. No.
A really cool realization. And my sister called me the other day, and she's living in Sydney now. She's the youngest one, and it was late in the night. She's like, "What are you doing awake?" And she's got into thinking about stuff, asking about what's new in my life. And I sat there and I was thinking, trying to find an answer. And this is what I gave her. And I told her, what I'm actually doing right now is I'm focusing on building two things. And of all the things that, my whole life journey so far, getting to this point, trying to sort of find that blueprint of life, trying to find the meaning of life, trying to find exactly what it is that, I'm trying to make sense of this whole thing, right? And I concluded to two things, right? The most important two things that I want to work on, and I am actually working on right now. Two things. One is personal development, right? With personal development, I'll go into it a little bit, but personal development, the second one is communication, right? So the reason, I'll go into communication first. The reason communication is, communication within communication is huge, is big, and these are the two most crucial things for you to succeed in life and in business and in every area of your life, right? These are the two things you need to work on. It's in my opinion, again. communication, because within communication, you've got marketing. Within communication, there's NLP, hypnotic, and there's all sorts of different stuff, right? Within communication, communication is the sort of is sort of the answer to a lot of problems that people have. Like, think about this, right? In life, you've got all sorts of different types of relationships. There's, family relationships, father, son, mother. There's, girlfriend, boyfriend relationship. There's marriages. There's boss and employees. There's customers and owners. There's presidents and residents. And if you are great at communication, right, you can influence and you can inspire and you can get people to walk on hot coal, right, to step out of their fear into their power. Now, how powerful is that? You can give them a piece of rock and you can get them to say, hey, buy this, okay? Because people love to buy. Click the link below and buy now. Stuff like that. Do you know what I'm saying? If you could master communication, you've already mastered one area of life that you're going to be successful in, right? The second part is personal development, and this is sort of the foundation, because tonight's topic is about mindset, right? And so with personal development, that's where you sort of learn more about yourself, right? The inner self. That's where you learn about, once you learn about yourself, you learn about other people as well. And once you understand yourself, once you can master yourself, you master, the world around you, everything that happens around you. So, guys, I mean, this is definitely the place that I've come at the end of my journey to this point, this time right now. I mean, there's every second, we're progressing forward, but at this point in time of my life, I've gotten to this point, and I've chosen this vehicle because it is the right place for me. Not only that, I'm getting great communication education. I'm not only getting great personal development, but there's huge income potential attached to it. And I have a vehicle where I'm able to, get my message across out there to people around the world. And I mean, for those of you guys that are, feel similar, and you feel like, you might be someone who wants to grow bigger, you might want to step out there and step into your power, and you might want to inspire people, and Power Network's going to help you do just that. So hit the link below, lock arms with us, and that's my 2 cents.
Beautifully spoken. Beautifully spoken. Harish, have you got any closing thoughts, statements, words?
Yeah, I mean, how I look at it, in the past, sometimes it's difficult to do something different. When you're in a comfortable place, you think, well, why should I change something? Why should I learn a new skill? Why should I bother with something? But then you should ask yourself, are you happy where you are? Where you might be safe, you might be comfortable, you know how things are going to be every day, but are you enjoying it? I mean, is it leading to where you want to? Because the one thing is, it's no point saying, oh, one day I'll get to such and such, but I'm quite comfortable where I am at the moment, and it's not getting me where I want. Then ask yourself, don't you think you need to do something different? Don't you think you need to have put in a challenge to yourself? Because without that challenge, you will no way ever get to where you want to. So the thing is, as much as you may initially feel uncomfortable trying something different, you'll be thanking yourself afterwards, because that's what you need to do initially to get to where you want. So this with anything, and not just internet marketing, with anything that you do, you got to go through that little bit of unease, take that little bit of risk, get involved, and then you realize, oh, was I scared of just that little thing? Was that it? Just to make a video or get on a Google Hangout or just write a blog post? Was that it? Then you realize that what you were afraid of was just nothing. It's just the fact that it was something you haven't done before. That was the only difference. I've done many times when things you think, oh, I don't want to do this. It's just, you look at people who are really good at something because they've been doing it for a while. They weren't good to begin with, and you'll be the same as well. So if you want change, get out of the comfort zone, get involved. Of course, you may not do everything right at the beginning, but with time, you'll become an expert as well, and who knows where it'll lead to. So my closing thought is, if you're not happy where you are and you want to get out of your comfort zone, please click the link below and see where it takes you.
Again, well spoken. And my gorgeous young lady on the end, Tien, your closing statements for the evening?
I just want to finish off with a quote because I think the panel has said enough already. Life, it's in your moments of decisions that your destiny is shaped. And you know, there's no time like the present. You're in the space now. You're watching this. You know you want to move forward in your life. So just click the link below this video and lock arms with us and meet us in Denver.
Yay! And on that note, I would like to thank my gorgeous panel, my assistants that have been here this evening, and everybody that has been watching this Hangout. As everybody has said, please, you know, click the link below, get back to the person that invited you to this Hangout. And, you know, we are here every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time. And we look forward to seeing you all next week. Bye, guys.
Good night.
Night.